Hi, this is KryptoSeoul Erica, episode 25. It's a different, I'm sorry about the really messy background. It's actually a different setting and different room. Um, Hi, everyone. Hi. It's been a long time, actually. It's been more than a week, actually. And I've been really, really busy with Deconomy, and I had so many meetups in between. So I'm sorry about that. But now that I'm here, a lot of things have happened in the Korean market, and KryptoSeoul is all about the Korean market, sharing news. And actually, it's going to change a little bit in terms of the format. And since the blockchainer platform that the shows are in, it's going to be changed to COD Central. So it's going to be a totally different platform, and I'm going to be having like more live videos and more like mobile, like live through this. So it'll be very instant news from the South Korean market. Hi, Steven. How are you? So it's going to be the format's going to be more exciting, and the content's going to be very instant, so that you can have a more like direct news from South Korea. So whenever like really sudden news comes out, interesting news coming out, then I'll be doing live through my mobile phone. And so it's going to be less formalized, and then maybe like a weekly basis, they'll have a very organized version of those live videos. So it's going to be having a different approach to it. And yeah, so it's hopefully it's gonna all work out. And this is live, different setting right now. It's all kind of messy, but please bear with me. So let's see what happened during during the last week. It's been very exciting here in the Korean scene. So I'm sure many of you have heard about Deconomy. So Deconomy was a conference that I was initially involved in. So I'm very attached to this whole Deconomy scene. But it is a conference hosted by Block and Press, and so it's Deconomy stands for distributed economy, and it has been the first conference has been held in Seoul, and it's going to be a global conference, not a Seoul-based conference. Yeah, so this news is actually talking about how Deconomy has so many good speakers. The lineup was amazing, and I think due to that, a lot of the people from abroad wanted to come to Korea to attend Deconomy, and there was lack of tickets. I'm sure many of you have had trouble getting tickets for Deconomy, and the reason is because of this crazy lineup. So people were shocked to have David Chaum as the first speaker. He was the keynote speaker, and he is like the father of cryptography, and so he has been setting that standard really high in Deconomy. And then Joseph Poon also came as a speaker. Really, he's a persuasive presenter, and I have total respect for Joseph as well. And they have Ian Grigg and David Chum in one setting. So it's actually amazing to see that in person. I was there the whole time, and it was just the people who were in the conference and attending the conference was amazing. So I just can't, I was so astonished by how such a conference can be held in Seoul. It was actually the first conference that, in Seoul that has been this legitimate and this, high quality. So it's going to set a really high standards for, upcoming conferences held in Seoul, this is top notch. And yeah, so there's been a Samsung MOU coming from. So this has all been like a historical, flow. So it started from the history, the main origin of cryptography, of cryptocurrency, and then it moved on to Bitcoin, moved on to Ethereum, and the third generation like currency platforms. So there was a whole like story to it, and people were amazed at how fluid it was. It was very well knit, and we learned a lot, and there was a lot of happening at the conference as well. So one thing was this. So I'm sure many of you have seen this. Do you want to take a look at this? So there was a panel discussion about there was Craig Roger Ver and Samsung Mo, moderated by Jeff Pack, and they were all in one setting, which is kind of rare to see. So I think it's their first try at any conference that this was held. I think they had a really heated debate, and it was a huge, it caused a lot of like interest and noise, in the global community. And so Vitalik was, he was talking about, he just kind of stood up and, had his own input, and it was very, and it caused, Craig Wright to kind of speak forward, and, that caused a huge, huge commotion, and people were so, amazed at what just happened, because, he just called Craig Wright a fraud, and it was just, the Twitter was going crazy, and I'm sure many of you have seen this. And I was there, like right there. See? Right there. Besides Joseph Poon, who was saying, I wrote the Nightly Network paper. It was just, yeah. So I was kind of like amazed there. So it was quite a scene. And I was very excited to be in the center of such, historical event, I guess. And I'm sure people will talk about it for, months or maybe years, right? So yeah, this happened at Deconomy. So yeah, huge events coming from Seoul last week. So that's why I haven't been able to connect here, through this YouTube. So I'm sorry, apologies one more time. Aaron Tanner, can people get their funds into exchanges yet in Korea, or the bank still giving them a hard time? Yeah, okay, so a lot of people have been asking for this update, and it seems like, the government is kind of toning, it's loosening up a little bit, but for the major exchanges, I don't see any big major changes happening there. As for like GoPax, for example, the like fourth largest exchange here, they have allowed new accounts if they are foreigners living in Korea legally. So if they have like actual bank accounts, and if they have an actual like mobile phone and number in Korea, then they can actually issue a new account, and they can deposit it, withdraw, no problem. So that's what's happening in like small to medium sized exchanges. I'm not sure about the major exchanges. I don't see any changes in that. And recently there has been very sudden listings of Icon and Storm and like Upbit, for example, and Bithum. So Bithum is actually kind of taking forward and listing such coins out of just out of thin air. So people were surprised at that, and the coin price just went up crazy. But other than that, I don't see any major regulatory changes and the exchanges and the government stance. So the government has been staying really very quiet these days. That's why I haven't been able to deliver like really solid news. So the government's just laying low, taking things slow, learning, hosting a lot of private meetings with like industry players, or so that's what's been happening. And internally they're having Korea Blockchain Association, for example, they're holding like their internal meetings regularly to learn about this and kind of find the best optimal strategy. So yeah, I'm repeating like the same thing from last time, but it's just like basically a repetition of continuation of what's been happening in exchanges and government. So I mean, hopefully that kind of cleared things up for like other exchanges like GoPax. GoPax is okay to go. So if you want to open a new account, I think you should go to GoPax and open one if you're living in Korea, of course. So yeah, that's what's been happening. So another news, like huge news, like kind of shocked the Korean community, was that the Coinnest CEO has been he's been arrested for and it's actually the first time ever since a domestic exchange CEO has been arrested, and the reason was of money laundering and like embezzlement. Yeah. So it turns out that he kind of took the the money of customers and gave it to top executives of the exchange. So I'm not really sure. Like I don't think it's 100% confirmed yet, but he has been arrested, and he's so Coinnest has been under a lot of heavy investigation, and it turns out that internal trading has been happening, and investors. What about the investors' assets? So many investors feel at Coinnest, who are trading at Coinnest, are feeling threatened, and they pulled out a lot of their money out of Coinnest right now. So I think the exchange is in a lot of trouble right now. So yeah, I mean, yeah, too bad. But the market has been under a lot of noise since this news kind of popped up. Yeah, so I think it's a way of the government of showing that they are capable of doing something really strong. So I think it was a showcase, right, to kind of prove their ability and of their capability. So I think Coinnest was a good target for that. Yeah, that's my perspective. But I mean, of course, I'm sure they have done some negative things and controversial things. But I think in the media, it was very evidently covered, like transparently. So they filmed it, like video was all out, exposed, and their faces were all exposed. It's like this article. So it's kind of like showing. It seems like it's proving to a certain degree. So yeah, that was not a pleasant news, but yeah, that's the top news for this week, actually, I think. So people has been under a lot of stress. Yeah. So what coin is popular in Korea right now? So I can't really say. So I mean, yeah, frankly speaking, the Korean market is under a lot of. I mean, it's not as hyped up as before because of the market's crashing, and it's been kind of stable, low level. So I can't say like which one is like really popular. I mean, I can say that there's a lot of reverse ICOs going on here. There's a lot of Korean ICOs that are trying to make its debut, and it's just kind of going crazy. The market's going crazy despite the prices, the low prices. So what is the sentiment of running ICOs in Korea these days? So you can't run an ICO in Korea legally. I mean, usually people don't incorporate their companies in Korea to have an ICO. So usually they go to Singapore or other countries to do it. Yeah. So it's kind of prohibited in Korea. It's not legally banned, but it's just not very preferred because it may be under a lot of controversy and the government may be investigating, so it may cause problems. So they just want to do it, out of preventive measures to kind of do it abroad. And yeah, I see many teams going abroad and doing their ICO there, not here. So yeah, that's been happening in Korea for quite some time. There's a lot of reverse ICOs coming out, and for example, like there's Terra, and I'm gonna be interviewing Terra soon, I think, but there's Phantom, Terra, and many like ICOs with actual use cases. So it seems very I don't know, very attractive in that way because it's very it has a lot of existing businesses as partners. So. And right now there's a lot of ICOs going on like Carry, and there's many projects. I can't really even remember all those, but I'll be happy to interview some of them who like last time I interviewed Blue Whale and Tink, which were icon dApps. But then maybe I will cover some some non-icon dApps that are very popular, that are going to become popular in Korea or in globally. So yeah. Another news is Shinhan Card and Omise Go. They signed an MOU with each other to explore opportunities for fintech and blockchain initiatives. This is an American. This was actually at the homepage of Omise, and yeah, it seems like Shinhan Card was actually very interested in the cryptocurrency market for some time actually. They have been exploring the market and learning about it, so they know what they're doing basically, and I think Omise got really in a close relationship, and they trusted each other. So I think they will collaborate further for their wallets, e-wallet providers, and potential areas of cooperations. They include exchange of learnings, know-how, right, and fintech, maybe like a possibility of establishing a payment structure, yeah, and joint projects, yeah. So Omise has been very aggressive, and I think of course in Asian markets as well. So yeah, it's good to see that Shinhan Card is going forward, and Shinhan is a very conservative entity, but I think in terms of relative to other banking companies in Korea, I think it is relatively very progressive. So yeah, it's good news. And yeah, there was another as there are many ICOs coming out here, people are very concerned, well, interested, but sensitive at the same time, because they have to kind of have their own evaluation of the ICOs and kind of see which one is legit, which one is not. And so there has been recently there has been a lot of noise regarding this ICO, and they had a fake advisor on the Ethereum advisor, Ethereum director as the advisor, and it was not true, and there was a lot of confusion over that. So likewise, there has been many noise concerning the reverse ICOs or just ICOs originating in Korea, basically. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a lot of disappointing to a lot of people, because they thought Ethereum, then wow, people get attention by having that as their front page, right? But it turns out it wasn't true. Bizant, I'm not familiar with Bizant. No, I don't know about Bizant, actually. I don't. Right. Is Chinese coin popular in Korea? Such as, I'm not sure which one you're referring to, but Chinese coins are popular in Korea, like Qtum or Neo. It's been very popular here. I think China and Korea are very interconnected, because it's very geographically close, and the fact that a lot of the Chinese projects are coming to Korea to present their projects here. So in that regard, and Korean investors or community are exposed to a lot of Chinese projects. I can say that. And as for me, there was a lot of Chinese projects that came to Deconomy, and they host a lot of meetups here. So yeah, I'm very familiar with Chinese projects. And yeah, I think today it was very short, but the fact was that there was a huge chunk of Deconomy, and then there was the Coinnest thing. Neo Trinity Q-Link. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure of all those projects, but Neo is definitely a very popular coin here. Yeah. Neo is very hot in Korea, and Qtum as well. So the major coins of China, I guess, the major platforms. Yeah, so that's it for today. Very short, but hopefully next time I'll do it at a very different setting. So for example, having a mobile phone live, or this green lighting. There's a green wall there, and so maybe I do there, and we'll see. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please email me at KryptoSeoul@gmail.com. And I also have a website coming out soon. So hopefully I can, share what I'm doing with you. And yeah, listening to Korean exchange, I'm not sure. I can't really say about the Korean exchange. I mean, the Korean exchanges are very random these days, and they don't really seem to have a structured plan as to how they're going to do new listings and when they're going to release it. And so it's very uncertain at the moment. It seems like they're slowly becoming to open up and accept the listings, but it seems of course there's been a long line of projects that has been talking with these exchanges, and they're still waiting for their turn, basically. So there's not an order, but there's a list, and in order to be chosen, right, as the new coin, I think it's going to take some time, especially the major exchanges, which have I talked to one of the exchanges, and long line of coins, and they've been meeting 5 teams a day, and so crazy life. Hi, yeah, new nerd. Thank you for the updates. Do you know why Bitham, Corbett, and Coin1 have never listed Neo? I would think they'd be jumping over themselves. Yeah. I don't know. Upbit listed Neo, and it was a huge, success. I guess it caused a lot of interest in the Korean market, and Neo's volume is like the highest in Upbit, I'm sure. And maybe I don't know. There's a slight competition between Upbit and Bithumb, right? Because those are the two large ones, and if you list one, then you don't really want to list that one because you don't want to compete with having another like appealing project. I'm not really sure why that happened, but I think Neo is very attractive in terms of the price and the prospects. So I don't see any reason why they're not listing anymore. Yeah, Elf. Oh, Elf, right? Elf. Yeah, Elf is actually really doing well here. It hosted, I think, like it was in 3 meetups while they were in Korea, and I think they had a booth in Deconomy as well. So Elf is doing great. I think it's the marketing is kind of kicking forward, and so Koreans like a lot of events, right? And I think the community work is doing pretty well. Hi, Martin. Hi. So yeah, that's it for today. But if you have any questions or comments, please you can write the replies below. Yeah, and hopefully with a new format, maybe next week or the week after that. If you have any projects that you want to have interviewed, then please let me know. Like I would love your feedback, comments. Possibly it can be like Terra or Phantom, but I'm not really sure. I'll let you know. But yeah, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have it's morning or lunchtime here, so please have a good lunch, or elsewhere if it's nighttime, good night, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.